If there's one thing I've learned watching strong men break it, that their collapse never starts loud. No outburst, no betrayal, no epic failure. It starts small, quiet, with something as simple as a text message that doesn't get a reply. And suddenly, the calm, confident guy isn't so calm anymore. He's pacing, checking his phone, rewriting what he should have said, losing sleep over a woman who was never his to begin with. You think you re-tough until your emotions get yanked around by someone who doesn't even know they're redoing it? Or worse, does know and plays you anyway. So here's the truth. If you want real power, not fake alpha bark, but actual peace of mind dominance, you need one habit, just one. It's not sexy, it's not marketable, but it works. And no one can mess with you once it's locked in. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build that habit and become emotionally untouchable. You need to stop reacting. The entire foundation of emotional strength, of being unfuckwithable, of becoming the kind of man who can walk away from anything starts with this. You break the reflex to react. Because here's the trap. She pulls away, you chase. He insults you, you flare up. Life throws you off, you scramble to fix it. Every reaction is a transaction where you trade your control for comfort. You give the outside world a remote control to your nervous system, and the worst part, you don't even know you're doing it. You think you're being honest, staying authentic, or just feeling your feelings. But what you're actually doing is surrendering, leaking, begging for balance in a world that rewards the man who can sit in discomfort and smile. Now imagine this. You're with a woman, things are good, vibes are great. Then she starts pulling back, slower, acts colder, energy dips. The old you panic, overanalyze, send a ask what's wrong, maybe joke your way into her affection again. But the version of you that doesn't react, he sees it, stays calm, he doesn't chase. He lets the silence stretch, and that silence is devastating to her, because here's what she expected. A man like every other man, trapped in his own emotional hunger. So easy to pull off center. But instead, she sees a man who feels the shift and chooses stillness. That is terrifying and magnetic. You stop reacting not because you're numb, but because you're disciplined. It's the same in conflict. Someone mocks you, slights you, tests you, and you hold the line. You don't flare up. You don't need to prove you're alpha, because your value doesn't live in their eyes. It lives in your response, or more accurately, your non-response. And when you master this, your entire life shifts, because reaction is weakness. Control is power, but don't get it twisted. I'm not saying suppress your feelings. I'm saying own them. You feel jealous? Good. Sit with it. You feel rage? Even better. Let it burn. But you don't act from it. You never let your emotions make the first move, because that's how you stay untouchable. Move on your own time. So, how do you build it? How do you go from being the guy who crumbles at a 3-word text to the guy who can stand in front of chaos and blink once? You do it by delaying the impulse. That's the habit. That's the muscle. That's the entire foundation. You feel the trigger, but you don't take the bait. The moment that message stings, the moment your heart rate ticks up, the moment you want to explain yourself, defend yourself, fix I2, stop. You sit, you let it wash over you, you let it burn. You don't journal it, you don't voice memo a friend, you don't reach out, you just stay right there. This is the opposite of everything you've been taught, because we live in a culture obsessed with instant relief. She pulls away. Google 10 signs. She's losing interest. Someone disrespects you. Fire off a tweet. You feel down by something. Post something. Swipe someone. Constant reaction. Constant weakness disguised as emotional awareness. But here's the twist. Real strength is silent. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't vent. It doesn't flinch. When you train yourself to delay reaction by even 30 seconds, you start to see the madness inside you. The scramble, the insecurity, the emotional junk that's been steering your life without permission. You finally hear the little voice saying, don't let her walk away. Fix this before she leaves. Say something now or she'll forget you. That voice is not your ally. It's your addiction. You've been high on emotional urgency your whole life. And withdrawal sucks. But that first time you sit in the urge without acting, that first time you feel the anxiety and choose stillness, you realize you're not dying, you're just uncomfortable. And the more you practice that discomfort, the more your mind starts to follow your lead instead of dragging you by the collar. People feel it. She feels it. The tension when she sends a test and you don't flinch. The shock when you don't rush to explain yourself. The mystery of a man who seems to have a whole other center inside him that no one else can touch. That's power, not money, not muscles, not clout. This inner stillness, under pressure. The discipline of doing nothing when everything in you screams to react. Because the moment you stop reacting, the world loses its grip on you.